Hello, everyone. As you know, today we're going to talk about modifications of nouns. Let us analyze the sentences that we have here in this chart. We have the first part, I remember what, the something, what. I remember the Olympics, okay? I remember the Olympics. Sometimes, besides the noun that you have at the end of a sentence like this, you need to add extra information. That extra information can be given by a noun modifier, and then you would have something like this. I remember the Summer Olympics. Okay? In some other cases, you give your opinion. In this case, look at this adjective, wonderful. I remember the wonderful. When you use this word, then you're giving your opinion. And then we can have, I remember the wonderful Summer Olympics. Or here we have another sentence. I remember the amazing volleyball games. There are some things to remember. Number one, the noun that you have at the end that is being modified by a noun modifier or an adjective modifier is called head noun. Okay? Again, the noun that is modified by adjectives or modified by some other nouns is called head noun. Sometimes you have a pure adjective, like this one, wonderful. What do I mean by pure adjective? It means that you can say wonderful, more wonderful, the most wonderful, okay? But sometimes modifiers are also nouns, like in this case. They are not pure adjectives. They modify nouns, yes, but they are not pure adjectives. So you cannot say summer, more summer, or the most summer, okay? Both of them are modifiers. This is a pure adjective, the one that you have here, wonderful, amazing, but sometimes you have modifiers which are nouns. Now, let us continue with our next slides. Sometimes the head noun is modified by different adjectives, and they express different things. For example, the adjective or modifier may express an opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, or material. And then you may ask yourself, well, if I have 2, 3, 4 adjectives modifying a head noun, what is the order? Or there are no rules about this. Let us see the first sentence. I saw a great new French movie. Imagine, what about if I mention first French and then I say, I saw a French great new movie. Is it the same? Am I right? Am I wrong? Well, let me tell you, there is an order of adjective modifiers. What goes first? Opinion. And if you have size, then it goes next, and then age, and then shape, and then color, and then origin, and then next to the noun is material. Okay? Let us see the second sentence. I met its fascinating, my opinion, young age Chinese origin director. I met its fascinating young Chinese director. Let us look at the last sentence. Here we have information about size, color, and material, okay? And these modifiers have to follow this order, okay? Noun, dress, Next to the noun, you have the material, and then here we have a color, and then we have size. So our sentence is going to be, she wore a long red silk dress, okay? And this is proper grammar. Let us continue with our presentation. And there are some other things to know and to remember. What happens when we have several adjective modifiers? We were studying about the order, but let us look at this. Here we have different modifier categories. For example, we have a great, in my opinion, and then you have new, and then you have epic, and then you have movie. Okay? A great, new, epic movie. If you notice, between great and new, there is no comma. Between new and epic, there is no comma. When does it happen? When we have different modifier categories. Okay? Now, what happens when we have the same modifier categories? Look at this. A serious, profound, and heartwarming movie. Okay? As you can see, it is just opinion, opinion, and opinion. I think it is serious. I think it is profound. I felt it was heartwarming. So it is the same category. And then what do you have in between? A serious, comma, profound, comma, and heartwarming. Okay? Look at the other one, a serious, profound, heartwarming. But look at the other one, a heartwarming, profound, serious. Since they have the same category, then I can shift the position of adjectives depending on what? Depending on what I want to emphasize. Okay? So I say a heartwarming, profound, serious movie. Why heartwarming first? Because I want to emphasize that. Now, what is the point to remember? When you have a series of modifiers, sometimes you use comma, and sometimes you do not use comma. When the modifiers are part of different categories, no comma. When the modifiers have the same category, then you have a comma in between. Okay, now let us continue with our next slide. Sometimes we have compound modifiers. Look at the first sentence. The movie has lots of computer-generated scenes. The movie has lots of strange-looking creatures. Here we have a compound modifier, a compound modifier. What do you have in between? A hyphen. Okay? Let us look at the other sentence. The main character is a 10-year-old girl. Okay? This is the compound modifier, and between the number and words you have hyphen, hyphen. The next sentence has a double compound modifier, two compound modifiers. The main character is a long-haired, short-legged boy. Okay? Compound, compound. Hyphen, hyphen. Okay? What is the thing to remember? When you have a compound modifier, you use a hyphen between, you include a hyphen between the words, between the modifiers. Okay? Now, let us see some grammar notes. Let us recap what we have studied up to now. Let us study now some grammar notes. It is a sort of recap of what we have included up to now, that we have mentioned up to now. Number one, nouns can be modified both by adjectives and by other nouns. Remember, We have learned up to now that nouns are modified by adjectives, and that is true. But we also need to take into consideration that sometimes nouns are modified sometimes by other nouns, okay? Nouns modifying nouns. What else? Here we have adjectives and noun modifiers usually come before the noun they modify. And the last one in this part, the noun that is modified is called the head noun. Here we have a sentence. Mágico González is a famous Salvadoran soccer player. Question, what is the head noun? Mágico González, famous Salvadoran soccer or player. Yes, it is the last one, the last word, it is player. Question, what is the position of the modifiers? Yes, they are before the head noun. Okay? Now, something else to remember. Number 2, noun modifiers usually come directly before the nouns they modify. Okay? Look at this. Milk is a noun. Chocolate is another noun. But look at the phrase milk chocolate. Okay? So if you have a series of modifiers, the one that is next to the head noun is the noun modifier. Okay? Now, let us see this part. When there are both adjective and noun modifiers, the noun modifier comes closer to the head noun. Okay, we are repeating. Now look at this sentence. Messi is a famous soccer player. Head noun, player. Modifiers, famous and soccer. One of them is a noun modifier. Which one is it? Yes, it is soccer. Now, if I want to combine famous and soccer in a sentence, then would it be correct or better to say Messi is a soccer famous player? Or is it better to say Messi is a famous soccer player? Which one is better? Okay? And you know, when there are both adjective and noun modifiers, the noun modifier comes closer to the head noun. So this is the correct order. The noun modifier is close to the head noun. Okay? That is the grammar rule. Now, let us continue with the other slide. Let us continue with our grammar notes. Two common types of adjective modifiers are present participles and past participles, also called participial adjectives. Let us see sentence number 1. It was a boring movie. Head noun, movie. What is boring? Boring is a modifier, but you know that boring comes from a verb, and it is in the ing form. You have the verb bore, and here you have boring. In this case, it is not working as a verb. What is it? It is an adjective modifier, and since it is in the ing form, this is called a present participle. And if you have a modifier like this, a verb in the past participle, it is called a past participle or participial. Well, yeah, they are both participial adjectives, but here you have a past participle. Okay. If the modifier is derived from a verb and it is in the ing form, it is called a present participle, and here you have a past participle. Something for you to remember. Participial adjectives that end in ing describe someone or something that causes a feeling. For example, the result of the game was shocking. In other words, the result was shocking. It causes a feeling. Okay, it caused a feeling. It was shocking. The news is exciting. So you feel excited when you listen to the news. The news causes something. What is that? It excites. So the news is exciting. And on the other hand, participial adjectives that end in ed describe someone who experiences a feeling. We were shocked by the result. Everyone is excited by the news. So here you're describing the one who experiences the feeling. Okay? Now let us continue with the next slide. Something for you to be careful with. Number 1, plural nouns used as modifiers become singular when they come before the noun. That is a general rule. There are some exceptions, but in general, this is the way it goes. Example number 1. Her daughter is 10 years old. You see, years is in plural. But when you use this as a compound modifier, look at sentence number 2, she has a 10-year-old daughter. Year is in singular, no matter you're talking about 10 years, okay? So when the modifier is a plural noun, then it has to be in the singular form, okay? So if you say, she has a 10-years-old daughter, that is a grammar mistake. That is not proper grammar. So we have to remember that plural nouns used as modifiers become singular, like number 2, she has a 10-year-old daughter. Okay? And the last part, in written English, avoid having more than 2 modifiers together. Using too many noun modifiers in sequence can be confusing. Look at the example. Is Juan a student who won an award for painting portraits? That is the question, and you can have 3 different versions. Let us see the first one. Juan won the Student Portrait Painter Award. Juan won the Student Portrait Painter Award. No, you can say the same thing. You can give the same information in another way. Look at number 5. Juan won the award for painting portraits of students. That sounds clear. That sounds better. Now let us look at another version. Student Juan won the award for painting portraits. Okay? Again, this is better. This is much better. Okay? So what is for you to remember? It is this. Avoid having more than 2 noun modifiers together, okay? Because that can be confusing. Now we have come to the end of this presentation. Remember that there are more grammar notes to be studied. I invite you to study them in your book. Make an effort to understand that. Think that in the future you will be explaining the material, so try to analyze it as much as you can, as deep as you can. And also remember, in case of doubt, ask your classmates or your tutor and get ready to help others too. That would be all for today. Bye.